Welcome back to Stutter Chats. As today we have someone very special, someone who has written their own book, where we'll get to that later on. But today we have the pleasure of having DaVon Camp in our podcast today. Welcome to our pod, man.
Thanks, man. Happy to be here. I'm excited and I'm thrilled, man.
For sure, DaVon, of course, man. Thank you. So first of all, man, I'm just gonna hit it off with a question: Who is who is DaVon Camp? And tell us about yourself, man.
So I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. Um, Grew up in the inner cities of D.C. Um, in the hood. And I was raised by a single mom. My mom actually gave birth to me at 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
So so we actually grew up together, right?
Mhm.
And I was diagnosed as a person who stutters at around the age 7 years old. And I will never forget the day my mom took me to get diagnosed. I didn't want to stutter. I had already built up self-hatred already at 7 years old. My goal was to go into this consultation and try my best to hide my stutter, but
Mhm.
I failed completely. The lady who gave me the consultation said, "Hey, you stutter," and my mom elected to not pursue speech therapy. So I grew up not meeting anybody who stutters. So going through grade school always felt like I was alone because again, I didn't find a community until I was an adult. So
Mhm.
you can imagine going through grade school being teased. Every person who stutters has always went through those issues of being teased. So it was a big challenge for me growing up. But what I did was I found a passion in playing basketball. So as an adolescent, started playing basketball, and I became pretty good at it. And basketball took me to places I never imagined I would go. At 15 years old, I was selected to play on this, they called it the United States Youth Games. It's kind of a junior Olympics,
Okay.
but it was only cities from the United States. So I was selected like one of the 10 players out of a few hundred kids to represent DC, and we traveled to St. Croix and we played. So at 15 years old, then I played on some AAU teams. I played on my high school team. I was blessed to be in the class of 2002. I was nominated McDonald's All-American.
Oh,
Now, let me give some context.
yeah.
They nominate 1,100 12th graders in the United States.
Hey.
That year, I knew I was not playing on the team. I'm gonna give you some names that played in 2002. On the McDonald's game, you had Carmelo Anthony, you
Okay.
had Chris Bosh, you had JJ Redick, you had Amari Stoudemire.
Hey.
I was just honored to be included in that 1,100. So that McDonald's letter that they sent me, man, I used to cherish that letter because just to be considered in the top 1,100, and a whole lot of folks think 1,100 is a big number, but compared to over 100,000 high school basketball players, that's pretty good. But so I was getting interest from schools from different colleges, but I didn't get a scholarship. I had the option to do junior college. I had the option to reclassify and do prep school, but I decided that I wanted to just go straight to school. So I ended up getting an academic scholarship to Livingstone College, and there I decided I was done playing ball. But the coach actually heard about me playing in some pickup games. He
Mhm.
came and approached me at this Division II school and said, "I want you on my team." So I went to school putting basketball in my rear view, but the coach heard about me in the open gym. So I was able to earn a partial scholarship to play Division II. So it was an honor for me to still have a chance to follow my passion. But once I graduated from college, I went straight into the workforce. So I've been a government employee for the last 20 years. And the biggest challenge for me is going into the government, having that self-doubt, feeling
Mhm.
like I always had to outwork the next person because I stuttered. early on, I was called the nervous guy. I was called so many different names because I was not open about my stutter. I think back then, if I was open about my stutter, folks would have been more understanding. Folks
Mhm.
just thought I was trying to talk fast. Folks just thought I was nervous. So I went through my early in my career, just trying to outwork folks because I was still so insecure. I was so insecure about my speech. I didn't meet anybody who stuttered until I was 21 years old. So again, I went through my whole life feeling alone, having that self-doubt, having that self-hatred, which a lot of folks who stutter struggle with. We don't even realize how much we hate ourselves, because we stutter. So, I always went through life feeling like that. So I won't go too much more into story. I'll let you hit me with more questions. I got some more to say, but I'll let you. But that's kind of like my origin, where I'm from, going through adolescence and then going through college and then entering the workforce as an adult.
Yeah, bro. But before Brandon hits you with a question, I'll tell you, bro, because I've seen your pictures and you seem over 6'5".
6'2", 6'2.5", somewhere in that range.
Hey, we still tall. I'm 6'2".
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Listen, listen, y'all, leave me out again. Got the beers and then the. All right. Uh, I put my boots on 5'11". All right, all right.
Uh,
All right.
I
So,
got your boy Boss back here. I know it's here.
flat out baller, man. Flat out baller, bro.
Yeah.
so Devon, question for you. So, what moment did you realize you wanted to turn your life into a book, and was there any moment in specific?
Man, I would say in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
um, right before the pandemic, man. Actually, I'm gonna go back a year.
Mm-hmm.
2019, man, I was having so much anxiety, right? I said I need to get some help. So I went to see a therapist. And I sat with this guy for an hour. And after we finished my first session, he said, "Do you know you talked about stuttering for an hour?" I didn't realize. I went in there when I filled out my information sheet. I put on there, I'm stressed out because of work and different things like that. Wasn't being honest. I knew my internal struggle I was battling with is my struggle with my stutter. I've always had hope up until 2019 when I met with this therapist. I had hope that I wouldn't stutter. I didn't want to stutter, man. I never accepted my stutter. I struggled with accepting my stutter. So, sat with this therapist. He said, "Man, you sat here and talked to me for an hour, man. I didn't realize how much I had to unpack." Because growing up in the house, I'm gonna go step back. Growing up in the household, again, my mom was young, right? So she didn't really know how to navigate me being a person starter. So the easiest thing to do was ignore it, right? A lot of times we ignore things that we're challenged with. So I never talked about stuttering. So imagine me in 2019. At this point, I'm 35, right? Finally sat across from a person and unpacked 35 years worth of trauma, self-doubt, self-hatred with my stuttering. This is what this guy told me. I met with him for a couple more sessions. He told me, "You need to get around some people who are like you. There
Mm-hmm.
are millions of people who stutter. Find you a community." What I did was I joined the National Stuttering Association.
Mm-hmm.
Completely changed my life, man. The first meeting I went to, and I discuss it in my book, and I'll discuss my book in a minute. The first meeting I went to, man, I was around 10 people. So I joined the Washington, D.C. chapter. Went to my first meeting, man. I'm around 10 people who I saw just stuttering so openly and so freely, right? Me, I learned in my first meeting that I was a covert stutterer. Covert stuttering, as you guys know, it's an avoidance technique. You do everything you can to avoid stuttering. I learned in my first meeting that I was avoiding everything I could to not stutter, not realizing how much stress it is being a covert stutterer, right? Being a covert stutterer, you stress yourself out trying to avoid it. So in my first meeting, man, I had I finally decided to openly stutter freely, and man, it was a release, and it was a feeling that I had never felt in my life. Being across from folks who didn't make a face when I stuttered, being across from folks who actually felt what I was feeling. So when I joined the NSA, man, completely changed my life. And what really inspired me to write my book was I have a son that's 9 years old. He was
Mhm.
diagnosed as a person who stutters at the age of 7, just like me.
Mhm.
So I told myself at that point, I said, it's time for you to make a change. I say I have to be an example for my son to show him that success is not built on perfection, right? It's built on determination,
Sure.
and he can achieve whatever his heart desires. So, I took him to an stuttering event for kids, um, and at this event, they asked me to sit on a panel to give my perspective as a person who stutters and as a parent of a person who stutters. And it was people lined up to shake my hand and say, "Thank you for your story." I came home that same day and immediately started writing my book. Didn't know I was writing a book at the time. I was just getting all my thoughts down, man. And I started putting into chapter form. And I man wrote this book, man. My son inspired me to write this book. This book is called Stuttering to the Top. And I released this book last year in December, man. And this book has changed lives. This book is available right now on Amazon. The reviews are outstanding. Man, this book is changing lives because it takes folks on a journey through the life of a person who stutters, right? The trauma, the self-hatred, the self-doubt. But it's a beautiful story because it shows the breakthrough that's possible, right? Because I discuss in this book different things I did to change my perspective on life. I had to learn, I tell people, I had to learn to love my stutter. I
Mhm.
hated it so bad that at times I didn't even want to talk because I just hated it that much.
Mhm.
So I tell people, I said, man, once I started to love my stutter, I didn't care what reaction I got from
Mhm.
people who didn't stutter. I learned to love my stutter, man. That completely changed my life. And I started to do self affirmations. I had to learn because we are so hard on ourselves as
Yeah.
human beings. We beat ourselves up, man,
Yeah.
over and over. And I said, okay, let me change, let me flip the script. Let me start to stand in the mirror every morning and say, you are the man, you are more than enough. And me and my son have a saying, man, that we say constantly, it's okay to stutter.
Mhm.
It's okay to stutter, man. Because when my son was first diagnosed, I didn't want him to stutter. Because what happens is my life flashed before me. I
Mhm.
remember being 7, 8, 9, walking in the classroom, my friend saying, "What's up, DaVon? What's up, stutter, man?" Right? So my first thing I was thinking was, he can't stutter, man. I don't want him to go through what I went through. Then I realized maybe if I give him a positive spin on Stutterman. So what we did was the week he was diagnosed, me and him got shirts made. The
Mhm.
shirts basically said, yes, I stutter. Please do not complete my sentences for me. I
Mhm.
know what I'm trying to say. And I had some other stuff in the shirt. We
Mhm.
Yeah.
took pictures in these shirts, man. We did a photo shoot in these shirts. His introduction to stuttering was positive.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Out the gate, he like, my dad got the shirt on. I got the shirt on. This cool, right? So out the gate, he felt good about stuttering.
Mhm.
And then that translated to school. I remember kids saying, "Why do you talk like that?" He was confident enough to say, "I stutter. I have a speech disorder." At 7 years old, I ran. If I couldn't even utter the word stutter. So when anybody said it to me, I ran because I was just so insecure about stuttering. So that positive outlook on stuttering, giving him coming out the gate, him feeling good about himself, man, that's one of the biggest accomplishments of my adult life, man. Having a son who stutters and then having a son who I told him, I said, you're gonna have days of self-doubt. You're
Mhm.
gonna have days where you're not feeling your best. But I have went through it. I'm gonna be here to guide you through every step of the way. And again, you can achieve whatever your heart desires, man. If you always think highly of yourself, don't let anybody discourage you because their lack of education on stuttering. Because that's the challenge. That's why I'm glad you guys have this podcast, man, Stutter Chats, man. What you guys are doing weekly are educating folks because your audience is growing. When folks share stuff, people who don't even know about stuttering coming, learning, learning how to approach people who stutter, learning how to be patient. And, and I think what you guys are doing is amazing. So, man, I wrote this book, man, because my son inspired me and I want to inspire others, man, because for me to go from being a person who didn't want to talk to coming into the federal government,
Yeah.
starting out as an intern, man, and now I'm a director, right? So I'm leading this group of people who sit across from me and respect me and want to follow me, man. For a person who stutters, man, this is so inspiring for the young folks to for me to tell that story that I'm sitting across from people who don't care about my stuttering because I'm good at what I do, man. So I tell people, find something that you're good at
Mhm.
and master it. Because it don't matter if you stutter all day, once a day, people will respect you when you know what you're talking about, even if it takes you some time to get it out,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, man.
Yeah.
What's up,
Um,
man? Just want to add that I'm gonna definitely get the book. I'm already thinking I might read this book in one sitting, bro. Just
Appreciate it, man. A whole lot of folks have, man. A lot of folks sat there. It's a page turner, man, because it goes through, my whole life, the ups and the downs, man. But it's a beautiful, triumphant story to see the outcome, man. It's not a sad story. I mean, it's sad going through, man, because I discuss in detail some
correct.
things I did to avoid stuttering, man, and folks will be shocked. But it's the breakthrough, man. That I was able to achieve, man. That I'm think this book is going to inspire folks to do as well, man.
yeah.
Definitely. And therapy was, bro. What encouraged you to go to therapy? Because that's something that definitely looking right now. Speech therapy again, just backstory, speech therapy again, as well as therapy. What encouraged you to go to therapy
Yeah.
as yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out the point that I said, it's time to go to your therapy. So I was at the point where I was doing things to avoid stuttering that were detrimental
Hmm.
I
to
got
my health,
you. Hmm.
to my health. Not like drugs or anything, but it was a point that I was in a specific job where I had to do public speaking.
Hmm.
I was doing everything I could to avoid public speaking, trying to get out of it, right? And I
Hmm.
felt like a coward, right? I said, okay, it's time for me to get some help because I kept feeling like it was the imposter syndrome. It's when you're successful externally, but you
Hmm.
don't feel happy about it because you feel like you're a fraud. I felt like I was getting promoted, but I was not being my true authentic self because I was hiding my stutter.
Hmm.
Right. I was doing everything I could to avoid stuttering. So it was the imposter syndrome I was going through, and I said, man, and the self hatred, man, the self hatred. I hated myself, and at that point, I said, man, you need some help. And I said, let me go see a therapist, man. And that's what it was. It got to a point in my career where I really hated myself, and I was too successful at the time to feel that way about myself. It
Hmm.
was no reason for me to feel that way about myself with the success I was having externally. But to be successful, man, and not enjoy it, that's a sad feeling, man. So it was at that point where I put the stigmas away because a whole lot of times for African Americans, especially males, man, seeking therapy, it can be a weakness.
Yeah.
So I had to forget what other people would think, and I
Hmm.
had to get help from myself, man. And like I told you, my therapist said, I can keep taking your money if you want me to, but you need to get around some folks who stutter, man. And I took his advice, and I have been with the NSA, and I have not looked back, man. I am head first into it, and I just enjoy it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man. I want to. I I want to give a big shout out to NSA, man, because I think NSA has played a big part in us. I think I met my boy Brandon through it, and we started this thing up. So like, I think we were all around the same age when we found out we have other people that stutter besides us, man. But man, Devon, so I really want to ask you, we're still on the topic of your book, man, and like I don't want you to give up all what you talked about your book because I want people to still read it. What I'm looking at the title, "Stuttering to the Top." What does the top mean in for you?
I tell folks about when I talk to folks about success, a lot of people automatically think status and money, right?
Mhm.
For me, it's the impact, right? I always told myself, in my career, I want to have the biggest impact I can. And for me, it's kind of a twofold thing because it part of it is being a director now.
Mm,
I won't lie. That's part of the feeling of stuttering to the top. But it's the way I'm able to impact folks. Because I have this hashtag I coined. It's MIII. It's motivate, inspire, impact, influence.
Mm.
That's my goal. When I've been able to master those three things, that's when I told myself I reached success. So honestly, it was before I became a director where I thought I reached that pinnacle of success. Because again, being able to do those three things, I mean those four things, motivate, inspire, impact, influence. So for me, when I was able to do those four things, that's when I thought I was able to, that's when I thought I was stutter to the top. Now, again, I'm still young. I'm not completely at the top. That's
mhm,
why it's kind of interesting. Folks look at the title stuttering to the top, but they really analyze the guy running up. He's not there yet. I'm on my way. So I think folks look at the title and think, okay, I'm already there. No,
mm,
I'm still on my way to the top. But on the way to the top, it's certain things that I want to accomplish. And inspiring folks at this point is my biggest thing, man. Because people couldn't get me to talk.
mhm.
Now I can't stop talking. It's like because I'm so free because the acceptance piece, right? For
Yeah.
us who stutter, man, it takes us a long time to get to that acceptance piece.
Yep.
Once I got to that acceptance piece, man, my life changed, man, and I think I think that's the key. So yeah, the book is called Stuttering to the Top, and I'm still on my way to the top because I still have a lot more to accomplish, man. But on my way up there, man, I just want to inspire as many people as I can. Those who stutter and those who don't stutter, man.
Mhm.
There
I
you go.
think just inspiring one person and
Hmm.
makes your journey and the reason why you wrote the book worthwhile, man. And also, I want to talk about your son, man, because I I'm, I have yet to have a kid yet, so I don't know how I will feel when that moment comes where I will have to accept that my son or my daughter will stutter or they do it or don't. But man, I just want to tell you that your son has the best person to look up to.
Thank you, man.
If you ever feel some doubt in yourself, he has the best person to look up to. He looks up to you, I'm sure, every day, and yeah, he sees the confidence in you. And us at a young age, we wish we had somebody to look up to.
No
And
doubt.
and was stuttering a thing for you when you were a child? No, no, of course, it was a thing, but around your family members, anybody else stuttered in your family, or just you that
Yeah,
you
so
knew?
I had a when I was younger, I had a great granddad on my dad's side of the family who stuttered, but he passed away when I was young, so that was really my only example of a
Okay.
person who stuttered. But it was not any like true family history. And I wanna say something too. I was asked a question,
Hmm.
before you had kids, were you ever worried about your kids
Hmm.
stuttering? So I have two daughters. I got a 21-year-old and a 20-year-old. I
Hmm.
never worried about my daughters don't stutter. I never worried about them stuttering because I tell people I didn't want to stutter. I never accepted my stutter.
Hmm.
I had hope that I wouldn't stutter eventually, right? So I never even thought about them stuttering. And so I have four kids, 21, 20. My son Drew that stutters, and I have a younger son that's 7 years old. And how we approach stuttering in his household is so beautiful because
Hmm.
my 7-year-old son asks me all the time, "Why don't I stutter, Daddy? I want to stutter." And
Yeah.
I want to unpack how beautiful that is.
Hmm.
That's the type of environment we're creating in a household where stuttering is beautiful,
Yeah.
right? The way that I talk about it, the way that my son is starting to approach stuttering, the
Hmm.
way I'm so engulfed in the stuttering community. My 7-year-old son wants to stutter. Like people don't really understand how beautiful that is. Now he doesn't understand the kind of trauma that comes along with it, but it's the environment that my wife and I and my family are building surrounding stuttering. That my 7-year-old son constantly says, "Daddy, I want to stutter. Why don't I stutter, man?" So that's how you know we're looking at it from a positive, right? We're not because you're looking at it from a negative, he would be excited, but he's saying, "Daddy, why I don't stutter?" And I just think about my 9-year-old son Drew, how he doesn't really have to go through what I'm going through, man. For example, he plays basketball too. So he plays AAU already. So you guys, I don't know if you guys know, AAU is starting early, man. He's in
Nice.
the fourth grade. They're on circus. They're traveling. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And he picked up the ball and he said, I didn't give him the ball. I handed him the ball. I didn't make him take it. I handed it to him. He took it around with it. But what I want to say is, it's beautiful because I hear him on the phone, him and his friends play, him and his teammates
Hmm.
on the iPads, FaceTime, and they're playing NBA 2K or NFL, or they're playing Roblox. To hear him stutter openly without shame, and his teammates just sit there patiently waiting for him to finish his statement. They don't they don't tease him. They don't talk about him. They don't say the things I went through. Hurry up, man. You taking a long time, stutter man. They let him finish his statement. Sometimes I just sit outside his room, enjoy
That was awesome.
enjoying the fact that he is not afraid to talk. 'Cause I remember at 9 years old being afraid to talk, man. So it
Hmm.
shows that how parents are raising their kids these days, because kids emulate what they see.
Yeah.
Parents, I can guarantee you, these parents on his team are not in the house saying, "Hey, make sure," because some of them don't even know Drew stutters.
Yeah.
So it's just it's just the upbringing and how they're raising kids to be empathetic, to be kind, to be patient, and they're obviously good parents because, like I said, our kids emulate what they see.
Hmm.
So if you have a healthy, safe household, your kids kind of emulate that, man. And I just love when he's on the phone and he just stutters through his statements, man, and nobody interrupts him. As a person who stutters, man, that gives me so much joy because you guys know we used to get interrupted when we were younger, man. Eh, Can I finish my statement, please? Give me a chance, right? And he sits there, man, and these kids just let him finish, man. I just give me so much joy, dog. Y'all just don't understand how good that makes me feel, man, that he doesn't shut down. Because I would shut down when I would be interrupted, or somebody would say, slow down. Telling the person who started to slow down going to make me not want to talk, right? So I think how kids are being raised these days are totally different, because in school he has a few incidents, but it's not as much as what we would have went through growing up when we grew up, because kids were just meaner then.
Yeah.
So man, I just think it's beautiful, man. The experience my son is starting to have. Now, are we gonna always have this experience? No, but like I said, the foundation that we're building in the household, I think is very important. It's going to take him for the rest of his life.
I think definitely, bro. What you said, being outside of his room and hearing him listen, you almost brought me. I said, boy, he trying to get me tonight. He trying to get me, but I ain't gonna do it on the screen. Uh, uh, you talk a lot about confidence and mindset. What does confidence look like to you as a person that stutters?
Man, confidence for me as a person who stutters, man, is just straight up feeling good about yourself, man.
Mm,
And every book I personalized, I put mindset matters as
mm,
my personal sig my name, and mindset matters, man. Somebody asks me, what does mindset mean, man? It's simple for me, man. When it comes to stuttering, man, confidence and stuttering are two words that I really never mention in the same sentence. You don't really hear people say confidence, stuttering, but I flipped the script on that one, man. I changed the nerves on that one.
mm,
Confidence to me, man, is believing in yourself.
mm,
Hmm.
Plain and simple, man. Believing in yourself, and taking control of how you feel, right? Not letting anybody diminish how you feel about yourself, which that took me years, man, because I would always let people's opinion
Hmm.
affect how I felt about myself. But I had to understand that, man. What's most important is how I feel, right? That's the most important thing, man. I really, we as human beings, and definitely us as people who stutter, we have to believe in ourselves. And once we do that, man, that's where the confidence exudes. And then your confidence becomes infectious as well. People don't understand how infectious the energy that we put out
Mhm.
is to other peop people. So yeah, man.
So definitely, man, appreciate it. Like I said, just creating that atmosphere, like you said,
Yeah,
and your son, yeah, I mean, being able to wrap that around, like his confidence is going to be top tier, and it's already right now. Just the atmosphere that you're creating, man. I'll keep doing that for him because, like we both said, in households where parents didn't know, yeah, I mean, parents did not know, but now you're creating that whole atmosphere not only for yourself but for him, where now y'all both stepping out and other confident, wearing shirts and all. That shows a lot,
Mhm.
bro, and it shows a lot. Yeah, I mean, I'm listening and I'm like, man, this is a place where how it looks, that confidence looks. I know it ain't all like top right there, but it's like on that level of where you're saying this is how the confidence looks. So, bro, keep at it, man. Keep at it.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, man, because what you're doing, writing the book, it's not for you. It's for everyone. And I think if you have that mindset of understanding that this is not for me, but also for everybody else that's who's not capable of showing their expressions or capable of talking and stuff like that. Reason why you wrote that book is to inspire others, man. And I can't wait to get a book for myself, man, and just dig into that because I feel just by looking into your social media and talking to you, man, you seem like a great, humble guy that's who's ready to share their story to the world, man, and the whole world deserves to hear it, man.
Thank
And
you, man.
of course, man. Um, question for you. What's one thing you want? Say, let me see. How can I say? Yeah, okay. When a young child reads a book, reading your book, what's one thing you want them to get from it?
I want them to get from the most important thing I would say is you have a long life to live.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be discouraged now. You can achieve whatever your heart desires if you learn how to change the way you approach life and to change the way you approach every day, right? Learn to love yourself, man. That's one of the, I wish I knew
Yep.
that it was okay to stutter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's embedded now in my son's DNA how much we say it. I feel like if I was told that at a younger age, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
who knows what would happen. But
Yeah.
I feel like that's important for a person that stutters young to know simply it's okay to stutter.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's so, people might say that's so minor, but it's major, bro.
Yes, it is.
It's okay to stutter, man. That's what I would just want a young person to know, man. And reading this book, reading this book, going through the ups and the downs, the trials and tribulations, it shows that you can become successful. Just because you stutter, that doesn't mean your life is over. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can achieve some amazing things, man, if you put front foot forward and really push through and try to overcome that adversity, which is not always easy to overcome, man. But I think it's a mindset thing, man. Try your best to love yourself unconditionally, man, because self-love is so important. A lot of us lack it because we have never been taught, never been really taught to really love ourselves, right? Because, some people would get called cocky,
Mm-hmm.
arrogant, but I don't believe any of that stuff anymore, man. Because self-love is so important. And forget what you say. You can say somebody's cocky, say somebody's arrogant. That that is a piece of it itself. Now you got to find line to
Mhm.
walk where you can get too arrogant and too cocky. But I'm just talking about that self-love piece, man. Appreciating yourself and loving yourself. I think is one of the most important things that any young person could know right now, especially when they're getting teased or going through different things or having that self-doubt. Knowing that, man, if you push through, it is light at the end of the tunnel, man.
And that end of the tunnel, and only capable in my eyes, bro, if you have the right support group around you, man, and
No doubt.
having the right person next to you. And I'm sure you're married, right?
Yes, sir.
So your wife, man, I'm sure she's been a big inspiration in your life in those moments where you feel doubt, because we still feel doubt here and there.
Yep.
That's the nature we live in. And
Yep.
how has your wife played a part in your journey in writing that book and in your journey growing up, man? Because I'm sure you've been away for a while. So how has that journey built up? How has she inspired you, man?
I've been married 12 years now, man, and my wife has supported me through it all, because I at times like I said, I never really talked about stuttering, but
Mhm.
opened up to her, a few times about it. And when I was ready to really seek help and seek the therapy I needed, she supported me through that. When I had my breakthrough and I got head first in the NSA and going to different things, she supported me. When I said wanted to write my book, because again, in my book, it's a memoir, also a self-help and motivational book, but I'm talking about some personal things.
Mhm.
And when I got it all down, written up, I let her read it first. And I'm discussing some intimate things going through our relationship as well. And she was still, look, I support you. I don't have any issue with you discussing these things, man. And it was a blessing to have her to have her support because, for the 12 years that we've been married, she's been on this journey with me.
Mhm.
And like I said, since 2020, I've been like head first into the NSA, and she has supported me through my desire to be part of the NSA, to go speaking at different things, and then to write my book, man. So having a support like that who says go after what your heart desires, do what's going to make you happy, man. That was a tremendous blessing to have her by my side the whole time, man. So yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome, bro.
wanted to ask you because you mentioned in your NSA interview that you wanted to be an attorney, right?
What's that?
In your
Attorney?
yeah, an attorney.
Yeah, a lawyer, man. A lawyer, a lawyer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot
That
about that. Yeah.
is that still something in the thinking about it in the cuff or what? Because that's something that I thought still on the mind right now. So it's like, is that
Mhm.
something you're thinking about doing still or what?
So I'm gonna get some people some background on that part. So I did a interview and I tell a story about, and I discuss it in my book too. I tell a story about being in the second grade where the teacher asked all the students to stand up and say what you wanted to be when you grow up.
Mm,
And it was my turn to stand up. I stood up with the utmost confidence and said, lawyer. And classroom bust out laughing, the kids smacking the table. And as a 7 or 8 year old, man, I was deflated,
Yeah.
mm,
right? Because I sat down and said, as a person who stutters, what would I ever be able to do? Because every job you need to do, you have to talk.
Yep.
So that just defeated my desire to be a lawyer. As I got older, I started playing ball for
Mhm.
some certain amount of years. It was NBA until I got to a certain stage where I realized NBA was not going to be the thing. I think every ball player has that time where they realize, okay, my peak is going to be college maybe. But anyway, so I moved away from being a lawyer, man. I wanted to get in the government. I had
okay,
always had a desire when I got in college because I'm in the DC area.
okay,
DC is all the government. So you got family who go through the government. So that was my desire once I got in college. I wanted to graduate and get in the government. So I moved on from being a lawyer, but I can tell you, I still remember that day that I was 7, 8 years old. And I think that probably defeated my desire to be a lawyer. And I wish I picked it back up then to try to be a lawyer. But I think I was so defeated. I
yeah,
never thought about being a lawyer again after 7 or 8 years old.
I got you. I don't
Yeah.
want to necessarily follow up with that question as well, bro. Being that you work for the federal government. What can you necessarily say to somebody that may want to get in that line of work that stutters as well? What advice? I guess.
My advice would be, like me, I got in as a intern.
Hmm.
And one thing about the government, getting in as an intern, you get a chance to learn, and you get a chance, I would say, especially if you get into government at a young age, get you a mentor. I was able to get me a mentor at a very at a young age in the government, who really taught me how to become a professional. I think the challenge is coming out of college, going into the workforce. We don't know how to be professional, right? You kind of navigate your way through it. So that's one thing that really helped me getting the getting a mentor who can kind of pour into me to help to like build up my confidence as I went up the ranks. So I think that's one of the most important things. And not even the government. I think any new field you get in, and then one thing I did was I took as many training classes as I could. I think a lot of folks shy away from training, getting as much experience as I could, taking all those free government training courses helped elevate me as I went through my career too. So taking advantage of training classes that other folks don't want to go through because training can be painful and,
Mhm.
and, and, and boring, doing what other people don't want to do, and then getting yourself a mentor. Those are things that help you stand out.
You appreciate it, bro.
Man, I just want to go back to the first question we asked you about the whole childhood stuff, man. Kids could be brutal, man. Kids, I just want to add, man, I'm sure you guys know this song. I want to stay fly, by 3 6 Mafia. All right with
Yes,
it?
sir. You know it.
I remember, man. No, it was third grade or fourth grade, man. I had this kid come to me. Hey, I got this song reminds me of you. I want to stay fly because I started, and that was
Okay,
bro. No, but
yeah.
I know kids could be brutal, man. But
Mm.
Devon, I just want to give you your praise right now, man, and I appreciate you being a voice for many. As your goal and our goal is to spread awareness and and tell everybody it's okay to stutter. It's okay to be yourself and true to yourself. And how can somebody look for you? How can somebody reach out to you, or just how can somebody buy your book or reach out to you in social media? How can
Yeah, so I can be reached on Instagram. My Instagram name is DC Davon, DCDAVON, and I'm also on Facebook as well, Davon Camp, DAVONCAMP. My book is available on Amazon. You can on Amazon you can either get the paperback book or you can download the ebook. Yeah, but the book is available on Amazon, man.
I got a good idea, bro. Is there an audio of your book or no?
I have been asked about audiobook. I haven't done an audiobook, but I
I think
have
you
been asked
should
about
do it.
audiobook.
I think you should do it and stutter throughout the whole thing, bro.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah,
cool. I think that would be
yeah.
credible.
That'd be dope. Yeah.
That would be cool. So Devon, man, I just want to say thank you, man, for taking your time of your day. Thank you for sharing your story and sharing who Devon is. And I hope you keep inspiring people as you inspire us. And I, I hope this interview inspires many men.
I want to thank you both for this opportunity to join you guys on this platform, man. What you guys are doing, man, spreading awareness for stuttering, giving folks like me opportunity to come on here and discuss my story, man. I think it's a wonderful thing, and the most important thing for me is the education for stuttering for the and to put the stuttering on the platform it should be on, and letting folks know that it's okay to stutter. Every person you get on here gets an opportunity to tell their story, and they're inspiring people, man. Because people, I don't even think people that stutter realize how much we inspire people who don't stutter by
Yeah.
our strength. Right. I think that's one of the most important things that I've learned through my journey of being my accepting my stutter. So many people who don't stutter say, man, how confident you have become. I don't stutter and I'm even scared to talk. Like it's just like this is one of those things where we're really like being like what you guys are doing weekly, man. it takes courage to do, right? Being a person who stutters, being open about it, talking about it, takes courage, man. So I think that, man, what you guys are doing are inspiring many, and that's why I wanted to be on this podcast, man, because I want to say I'm proud of you guys too, man. That's one of the most important things that we have to tell each other, man. I'm proud of what you guys are doing, man, and it's amazing, man. So keep up the good work, man, and keep inspiring folks, man.
Sure.
Thank you, my man.